Askreddit, what is the most disrespectful thing that someone has done in your home? I rented a room to someone I knew since I was 12. He was using and selling H from my house. I found out and told him to GTFO. He was too lazy to use the bathroom and pissed in bottles I didn't know. Threw the piss all over the room before he left. Carved swastikas in my kid's bunk bed I was letting him use. My grandmother took in a family off the street who lived in their car. She lived alone, and no one was happy about it. But grandma is what grandma wants. She goes upstairs to clean their bathroom, finds their meth lab. Calls my uncle to ask if she should call the police, because she doesn't want to put the family into more trouble. Yeah, she called. Nice way by your grandma to cover her meth lab. This happened to my friend who lent her car to a friend of a friend who had some sob story about not being able to get to work. Turned out the friend of a friend was selling drugs and the car was seized. Once you lose property to civil asset forfeiture, at least where we live, it's basically impossible to get it back, and if you're able to get it back at all, your legal fees are probably going to cost more than what the car was worth. So she lost her car over it. My grandmother took in 2 Jehovah's Witnesses who walked to her door and never left. She lived alone, so they really enjoyed her company. They tried to stay 2 weeks, but grandma is what grandma wants. She goes upstairs to clean her bathroom, finds them jerking the egg. Calls my aunt to ask if she should call the church, because she doesn't want to put the men in more trouble. Yeah, she called and told them to fuck off. Guess they are getting married next month and grandma is the guest of honor for helping form their never-ending bond in that 2 weeks. A touching reboot. Are you sure they weren't Mormon? Yeah, I had roommates who stole all my spoons, we would assume for H, since they were always high to the point that they couldn't walk or talk, but honestly who knows, let their dog shit everywhere that never cleaned it, eat all my food then leave the dishes for me to clean. Smoked inside when I told them over and over to do it on the nice little balcony that was 10 steps from their room. Went in my room when I wasn't home to look through my stuff, use my bathroom stuff. Never contributed to things like toilet paper or food. It goes on and on. Anyway, we started to tell them they needed to leave in the next month or so, making sure they had enough time to pack and find a new place. Well, the day came and they had nothing ready and basically intended to squat. I threatened to call the cops and they called one of their very rude parents to help them GTFO. That woman then proceeded to steal things as revenge for kicking out her kid. I tried to explain that I had given them plenty of time and she gave no shit at all. Fuck those peoples, dude. P.S. It took months to clean the room thoroughly. It was the most disgusting room I have ever witnessed. Always don't trust a pivotal swastika heroin guy. Free rent and an income. When I was in Cub Scouts, in 3rd grade nonetheless, my mom hosted the meeting for the scouts in my grade at school where we built bird houses for some badge or something. While we were waiting for everyone to arrive, me and the scouts who had already arrived started playing in my backyard. One scout, let's call him Hen, told us he had to go to the bathroom really bad and left. When everyone arrived to start the project, I noticed that Hen was sitting at the edge of the table looking down, and my mom was really angry, and trying her best to suppress it. She asked me and all the other scouts if I had given Hen permission to go in my room. Me and all my friends said no. He said he had to go to the bathroom really bad. This response only made my mom even more visibly angry and N ducked his head more. 5 minutes later, N's mom arrived and is apologizing profusely to my mom. Turns out N went into my room, pocketed the $20 I had been saving up. I got paid $2 a week for mowing the lawn as an allowance and was stuffing my toys and video games into his backpack. My mom went upstairs to actually use the bathroom and noticed the theft taking place and caught him red-handed. He then lied to my mom and said I gave him permission to go into my room and he was just checking it out. But no, my mom caught him red-handed, and my mom is scary when she's mad. In total he stole around $150 in Game Boy cartridges, Pokemon cards and toys, and around 3 months of allowance. Back in college, my roommate and I hosted a birthday party for a mutual friend at our apartment. Earlier that day we gifted her a pet goldfish because she had been talking about getting a fish. Fast forward to later in the night. Our male friend, let's call him Mike, decided he needed to find a way to impress our other friend, who I'll call Carlo. Mike tries every lame joke and pickup line on Carlo and fails time and time again. Then he sees the goldfish in his tank and scoops him up in his hand. He says, "Check this out, Darlet." He then flops the fish into his mouth and swallows it alive. My roommate and I immediately rush over and start trying to make Mike puke the fish back up. Darlet quickly makes for the door and leaves the party. Sadly, that fish met its doom in my stomach that night. He never apologized, although he did complain about severe stomach issues for several days afterwards. TLDR, bought the fish for a friend and another friend swallowed it alive at a party to impress/flirt with someone. One night the girls who lived in the apartment across the hall brought a friend with them to hang with us. As soon as she walked in she screamed, "This will be hilarious." College guys always get the shitty, hand-me-down dishes from their parents. She walked into the kitchen and began pulling out pans and dishes and howling about how old and ratty they were. Our friends were mortified. Then they tried to talk to her. She talked louder. After 30 seconds of this lunacy, my roommate and I told her to leave. She threw a giant fit and called us assholes. "You can pry my shitty, hand-me-down pots and pans from my cold dead hands. I grew up with those. He's about to meet my grandma's cast iron skillet, I swear to God. Blood only adds to the seasoning of the pan, you silly bitch." When I was in like 2nd grade, I invited this girl over and we made popcorn as a snack, and not even 5 minutes later, this twat decided it's a good idea to run all over my house throwing it everywhere. This goes on another 5 minutes while I chase her down. But the damage is done. The popcorn is in between couch cushions, under the fridge, under my bed, in my laundry basket, all over the damp floor. My mom ends up sitting us down and proceeds to lay it out on her, telling her that what she did was disrespectful and to help clean up. She pouted and said no, saying since it wasn't her house she didn't have to clean shit. She continued to pout as my mom called her mom and pretty much told her to leave and to not expect to be invited back anytime soon. I haven't spoken to her in a while, but apparently she got banned from the mall for trashing a Lush store with her friend, throwing food, dumping out products, and smashing bath bombs. So I guess she hasn't changed much. My husband's friend and her boyfriend arrived from overseas. We hadn't met him previously. On day 1 the boyfriend googled by weed _ city name, got scammed into sending a lot of cash to Nigeria via Western Union to pay for it, then gave them our address for delivery. No weed ever turned up, but the police did. On day 2 he wanked in the shower and his load got caught by the hair catcher in the drain, which I discovered when I cleaned the shower. Nearly vomited. On day 3 the pair of them had a massive raging argument at our dinner table while the 4 of us were sitting down to eat. They were yelling insults at each other and trying to get us to join in and take a side. It went on like this for about a week until my husband told them to leave. They tried to come back a few days later because they'd discovered that our country is expensive and they'd preferred free accommodation with us. We declined. Dude cracked his pants while sitting on my couch playing a video game and just sat there finishing the match. We were having an old-fashioned LAN party and the entire room cleared out. It's really not a true LAN party until someone shits themselves tbh. I made an account just to share this story. We had friends over for my girlfriend's birthday and to celebrate moving into a new apartment together for the first time. A guy we knew from college kept stealing people's drinks throughout the night and got incoherently drunk. He lived a couple hours away but got too drunk to go home, so we let him stay despite already having a friend from out of town who planned to stay with us. In the middle of the night, the drunkard stripped down, forced the other guest off the only air mattress and pooped himself massively. He then tracked poopy footprints all over the apartment, smacked poopy handprints on all the doorknobs, including in the bedroom where we were sleeping, covered all our towels/some blankets in his wet sauce, and peed in some places. But it's not like he didn't make it to the bathroom. He left a second, possibly third shit in the toilet. No flush. No apology. Just left at like 6 a.m. without his poopy underpants. Those he left on the ruined air mattress in a steaming heap. Needless to say, the surprise breakfast waffles for my girlfriend were not as enjoyable. Thank you for watching, and please dislike and subscribe and comment to Automatic Reddit.